Hi guys, my name is Haley and I'm currently serving on the Indiana FCCLA State Executive Council. And recently, with all of the medical issues going on in the world, we've noticed that hospitals in Indiana are in dire need of a cloth face mask. So today I'm going to show you how you can make one of these easily at home and where you can donate them. So some of the supplies that you will need for this project are either a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch wide elastic, any kind of soft breathable material. I've made about 4 or 5 masks so far, and I've used different things that we wanted to recycle in our house. I've used sheets, old t-shirts, pillowcases, anything just either soft, and you have to make sure that it's not going to irritate the face in any way, so no like itchy materials will work. And then you need some kind of ruler. I just used a simple tape measure because I didn't really have a board at home. You will need fabric scissors and pins, and then your basic sewing machine, thread, and your bobbin. So for your face mask, you are going to need one large piece of fabric that is 8 inches by 15 inches, 2 pieces of accent fabric, which are 2 inches by 7 inches, and then 2 7-inch pieces of elastic. For our first step, we're going to lay our fabric out, and we are going to fold across the 15 inches. We are then going to line up these raw edges and take your pins, and you're going to want to pin along this line. Once your pins are in, you are going to want to take this to your sewing machine and sew right along the seam with about 1/4 of an inch allowance. So once you have this line sewn and your pins removed, we're going to flip your fabric right side out. Now that you have your fabric folded right side out, you're going to want to start with your new seam down at the bottom. Now this is where the face mask can get a little tricky because we don't have any exact measurements for this part of the step. But what you're going to want to do is start about 1 inch up, and you're going to want to pinch this material and fold. And once you've created these little folds, they should overlap on the edge just a little bit, and you're going to want to pin these folds in. These will create the ruffles that you saw in the example mask. Once those are pinned, you're going to want to, right on the edge of this new fold, pinch just a little bit and fold. You want these folds to only be about 1/2 inch here. And it will look like while you're sewing and pinning that they are coming apart here in the middle, but as long as you have your sides pinned, the middle will be fine. And you are going to repeat this step one final time. Once you have all your pins in, you are going to take this over to your sewing machine and sew with about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch seam allowance down the sides on both sides. Now that our ruffles are sewn, we are going to start attaching our elastic. You're going to start by placing your elastic on the edge of your fabric and placing a pin in it. And you're going to want to make sure you fold your elastic this way and make sure that it is not twisted. And you're going to pin again on the other side. And you're going to repeat this step on the other side of your fabric so that it starts to look like this. And then you are going to sew over, backstitch, and over again on both sides of the elastic. On both sides. Now that your elastic is sewn on, you're going to want to keep it folded down, and you're going to grab your 2 accent materials. And you're going to just simply want to fold this in half. And we're going to place it with the rough edge on the outside of the fabric, lining up with the seam that you already have. And you're going to want to pin this. On both sides, you're going to want to fold this over about a 1/2 inch and then trim off your excess fabric. When you're done, it should look something like this, where you have your extra fabric folded over and pinned. And you're going to want to repeat this step on the other side. With this step done, you're going to want to sew along the seam on both sides. This step is done. What you are going to do is take one side and completely flip your blue piece over. Like this. Before you pin, it is very important that you take your ruffles and you get them in order and you do pin these down, because if not, they will be outspread like this when you try and sew this down. Your ruffles pinned down, you are going to fold this over and match your edges and pin like this. And you're going to want to maybe put a pin in the center, but once you have it pinned, and you're going to repeat this process on the other side, you're going to want to sew as close to this edge that as you can get without creating any holes here, all the way down, and make sure you backstitch on both sides here. Once you sew that line on each side, you can remove all your pins and your mask is done. So I hope you guys were able to follow that video and are willing to help us make some of these masks so that we can donate them to hospitals in need in Indiana. We are currently doing research to find out which hospitals we can donate these to, but for now we have found that Margaret Mary Health in Batesville, Indiana is in dire need of these masks and are willing to accept the mask that we make. It is important that we have these ruffles in the mask, because then when you do apply them to the face, they're able to stretch so doctors can pull them depending on different shapes of the face and different sizes. I have tried these masks on 3 different age groups. Children, my brother is 5 years old and this mask still fit his face. It is a little large on him, but it was able to cover both his nose and underneath of his chin. And then I tried it up to someone at age 55 and it completely still covered their face and fit great. The address and mailing information for Margaret Mary Health is currently posted below this video, and any other information that you might need to know for sewing these masks.